Welcome back to the deep dive. So you sent us some great sources really digging into these tricky English vocabulary pairs,
hmm
the ones that, even advanced users stumble over,
Ah,
especially when things like exams or important writing come up.
yeah, it's not about obscure words, is it? It's those small differences, getting them right. Well, it really matters for clarity
Mm,
and credibility, frankly.
absolutely. And reading through what you shared, it seems like the confusion often isn't about the definition itself.
Exactly. It's more about what job is the word doing in the sentence? Is it an action,
Yeah.
a thing, something else?
Right. So our mission today for this deep dive is to tackle 5 of these common pairs.
And we'll focus on that function idea. It's sort of a shortcut.
Yeah, a function-first approach. We'll unpack them, spell them out clearly, ABC style, to make sure it all clicks.
That's good. Where should we start?
Let's begin with pairs where the main confusion is that functional shift. Verb versus preposition, that kind of thing.
Okay.
First up, accept or accept. That's ACCEPT for accept. And EXCEPT for accept. They sound really similar.
Deceptively similar.
Yeah.
And this trips a lot of people up. So, accept, ACCEPT, is almost always your verb.
The action word.
Exactly. It means to receive something or agree to something.
Mm.
I accept the offer. You're doing the accepting.
Okay, taking something in, basically, like he accepted the consequences.
Right. Now, accept, EXCEPT. That one's different. It usually works as a preposition or maybe a conjunction.
Ew.
Its job is exclusion,
Exclusion, meaning?
meaning it signals something is not included. It takes something out of the group. Everyone is here except John.
Ah, okay, so John is excluded from the group, everyone.
Precisely. So the takeaway, accept action inclusion, accept exclusion signal. If you remember that function, the sound doesn't matter so much.
That makes sense. Function first. Okay, building on that. Let's look at another pair where function is key, but this time it's shown by just one letter difference.
I think I know where you're going.
Advise versus advice. ADVISE versus ADVICE.
Yes, the classic S versus C distinction. And it often signals verb versus noun in English, plus a slight sound change.
How so?
Well, advise with the S, AGVISE, has that voiced Z sound at the end. Advise, zzz, that's the verb.
The action, the doing. My lawyer will advise me.
Exactly. You're performing the act of giving guidance. Now, advice with the C, ADVICE, has a softer ziz sound. Advice, sizz, that's the noun.
The thing itself, the suggestion you receive. That was good advice.
Perfect. And here's where knowing the grammar, the function, really helps you, the listener. Advice is a noun, right?
Yeah.
But it's an uncountable noun, like
Sure.
water or information.
Ah, okay, so you can't say he gave me 3 advices.
Nope, doesn't work. You'd have to say 3 pieces of advice or some advice or talk about the suggestions themselves.
Got it. So you can't just add an S to make it plural. The noun type dictates that.
Exactly. Knowing it's an uncountable noun tells you how to use it grammatically.
Yeah.
Action versus the thing itself. S versus C.
Very clear. Okay, let's shift gears. Time for, well, probably the heavyweight champion of confusing pairs. The one everyone dreads.
Oh, it has to be affect and effect.
It is affect, AFFECT, and effect, EFFECT. This one feels particularly tricky.
It is tricky, partly because there are some rare exceptions where they swap roles. But let's start with the main rule, the 95% rule, let's call it.
Okay, I like rules of thumb.
So affect, AFFECT, is almost always the verb. It means to influence, to impact, to act on something. It's the action of influencing.
Like, the weather will affect our plans. The weather is doing the affecting.
Correct. And effect, EFFECT, is nearly always the noun. It's the result, the outcome, the consequence of that influence.
So sticking with the weather, the effect of the storm was widespread flooding. The flooding is the result.
Precisely. The storm affected the area and the effect was flooding. Verb and noun. That's the core distinction.
That does simplify it. But you mentioned exceptions.
Yeah. And, for listeners really aiming for that top level, it's good to be aware. Very rarely, affect can be a noun in psychology, like someone's emotional display, their affect. And also rarely, effect can be a verb meaning to bring about or to cause.
Like to affect change, meaning to actually make the change happen.
Exactly that. But honestly, my advice for, everyday use and even most formal writing, stick to the main rule.
Affect verb, affect is noun.
Yes. Try to use those rare exceptions is often where people get tangled up. Master the 95% rule first. Focus on the primary function.
Good advice. Let's pivot slightly. We've talked function. Now let's hit some pairs where it's more about Well, just standard usage and spelling. Things that look wrong on the page.
Right, the common slip-ups.
Okay, this next one isn't really grammatical. It's more visual
Yeah,
and auditory, maybe. A lot versus a lot. That's A-L-O-T, one word,
hmm
versus A space L-O-T, two words.
right.
Yeah.
And we definitely say it like one word sometimes, a lot, which is probably why people write it that way.
Makes sense. But what's the rule?
The rule is simple and pretty absolute here. A lot, the single word version is just not a word.
Not a word, like at all.
Not in standard English, no. It's a spelling error, full stop. The sources we looked at are clear on this.
Okay, so no gray area.
No gray area. It's always a lot, two words. A is an article. Lot means many or much. Just like you write a little or a few, you need the space for a lot.
So if you can replace it with many or much, it needs that space.
That's the test. I have a lot of work. I have much work. Needs the space. Simple
Yeah.
as that.
Non-negotiable. Okay, final pair. This one is also about standard usage, but maybe leans more towards formality. Anyway, versus anyways.
Yes. A-N-Y-W-A-Y versus A-N-Y-W-A-Y-S.
I definitely hear anyways all the time in conversation. Anyways, what were you saying? It feels pretty natural.
Oh, it's incredibly common in spoken English. Absolutely. It's often used just like that as a transition.
But is it technically correct? Especially if you're writing something more formal?
That's the key distinction. Anyway, without the S is the standard formally correct adverb. It means regardless, or in any case, it's used to get back to a point or change the subject cleanly.
Okay, so anyway is the standard. What about anyways?
Anyways is generally considered informal or non-standard. While you hear it constantly, if you're writing an essay, a business email, or taking something like the IELTS test,
You should avoid it.
you should probably stick to. Anyway, that final S is often seen as, well, unnecessary or too casual for formal contexts. It can flag your writing as informal.
So the takeaway is, for standard, especially written in English, just drop the S.
Drop the S. Keep it clean with anyway. That's the safest bet for clarity and formality.
Excellent. Okay, that's 5 pairs down. Let's quickly recap. We hit accept, accept.
Where accept is the action, accept excludes.
Then advise.
Advice.
S for the verb, C for the noun, and remember advice is uncountable.
The big one. Effect.
Stick with effect as the verb, influence, and effect as the noun, result for the vast majority of cases. Then the simple spelling rule. A lot.
Isn't a word.
Yeah.
Always a lot, two words.
And finally, anyways.
Where anyway is standard and anyways is informal. Drop the as for formal use.
Phew. Great insights today.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Always good to dive deep into the details.
We'll catch you next time for the next deep dive.